all the I don't even call or
It's very mysterious to me that it really is just one thing after the other.
Nobody can say that. It really is just one thing after the other.
Yeah.
In my mind as an improviser, the best improvisations are not always the ones that are where someone is always in this moment.
Yeah.
But it's where they have some understanding and some feeling about where
it's going to go. Right, yeah. I think that's true. And that's a really important clarification, because in Zen we don't think that this moment is this little teeny tiny thing. This moment actually contains the past and the future. Right? So it's huge. And there's one of our forebears, lived in the 13th century, Dogen, talks about time as, we usually think that time goes from the past to the present to the future. But he says, and this has certainly been my experience, that time moves from the past to the present and from the future to the present. So yeah, when you're improvising music, there's a sense of where it's going to go. You don't quite know how it'll get there, but it'll it's going to end on this note. We're going to get back to the tonic somehow, maybe. There's a satisfaction to that. So there's a holding of the whole thing, and it's a kind of way of being outside of time while being very respectful of time as one of the ways we understand the world. So that I'm glad to be able to say that, because there's a little cliche in kind of pop psychology about living in the present moment, where it feels like you have blinders on. There's no past or future. There's just this. But just this is vast. And it's good to know where we came from and where we're going.
When I talk to people in my coaching practice, I often say there are two things we're going to work on. One is your capacity to be where you are, because that is where you are in the moment and you have no choice. So right here, we have no choice. Here we are, everything that's happened has already happened. So given that there's no choice, how do we meet this moment? And on the other hand, as human beings, we have incredible capacity to create structures in our life and to change what we do. And that there is something that's incredibly important about having our lives and what we do be an expression of what we love. And that when we live in alignment with that, and when we act in alignment with what we love, we feel fulfilled. And it's not a fixed position, but definitely there is a call to be appropriate, to respond with what the situation needs. And in that relative world, that's not separate from this other world that we can't even speak of. Both here. Right? So here we play the roles. We play the Zen teacher, you play the interviewer. And we need to play those roles fully. And in playing those roles, there's some freedom from the roles.
There's another piece of this that's a little bit bigger and a little hard to talk about, that I think is true of every creative endeavor and every one who engages in Zen practice, in terms of this holding the end, and knowing where we've come from. Everything's going to end. Everything's going to end. Like our lives are going to end. And there's a way of holding the ending of things in the present moment so that it vivifies, it enlivens the present moment. So one of the things we emphasize a lot in Zen practice is that everybody's going to die.